Let's bring in baseball / Astro / everything guru, Richard Oliver, to talk a little Astros. Richard, thanks so much for the time, man. We appreciate it.
I just come in because you call me guru every week. I love it.
I'll tell you who's not playing like gurus right now, at least heading into tonight's game against Boston, the Astros. We talked last week about if Houston lays an egg in that series against the Bombers, do you have to start maybe thinking about some things? Well, they didn't really totally lay an egg, Richard. They won one of those games. But for the season, New York's now taken 5 of 7 from Houston. Does that mean anything at this point of the year?
Well, I think it does mean something, at least from the Yankees' perspective, because they came out of the last year's playoff series, feeling like they let one get away. I think the Yankees came in with a mission. But Hector, I tell you, one of the things that you have to look at when you look at that series is the opportunities the Astros did not take advantage of. I mean, they were 2 or 3 pitches away from winning 2 of 3 in that series. So, you look at those kind of things, you think a scratch hit here, a dink here. Dallas Keuchel talked about it. He didn't think his performance was that bad in the loss, in that 3rd game loss. But he had a scratch hit that cost him. He had an opposite field single by Gary Sanchez, which, except for the shift, would never have happened. So, yes and no. I think the Astros feel like that was a series that they let get away, just as they did in Houston when they lost 3 out of 4. But 2 of those games, they blew leads late.
So we're about 2 months into the season now. You seeing trends that you're not a fan of as an Astros fan right now?
Well, it's never good when your closer has a 5.6 ERA. Just saying, that's something they probably ought to try to shore up if they can. That Ken Giles situation is something that they've really got to take care of. And the bullpen in general. That's the one trend that I think has really cost the Astros in a lot of their losses. They're not holding those late leads because the bullpen is 2-3 pitches away from making something happen. And there's always a one bad pitch. The 0-2 pitch that Peacock lifted up to Sanchez, hits it out for the 2, or Gardner hits it out for a 2-run homer, ties that game. An 0-2 slider up in the zone, you just don't do that kind of stuff. That's a concern. Carlos Correa, his average has fallen about 40 points over the last 3-4 weeks. That's something the Astros are really concerned about. This was an MVP discussion candidate going into the season. And of course, Jake Marisnick. I mean, defensively, the best outfielder on the team. Offensively, maybe the worst hitter in the American League right now. So, yeah, those are some trends you've got to really be concerned about.
After tonight, they've still got 3 more. Going from the Yankees to the Red Sox, is there something to take away from this Boston series when this 4-gamer is complete, Richard?
Well, the Astros came out of May not feeling very good, obviously. Finished up in the Bronx. Weren't playing the best baseball. Lots of opportunities again they missed. The Red Sox are a better team than the Yankees. Now, so this is, if you want to look at measuring sticks, and here's the important kind of interesting distinction, Hector, is that you lose 2 out of 3 in the Bronx. Okay, you lost 2 out of 3 at Yankee Stadium. The Astros are not playing very well at home. And that's why I think that series is important. You have the best team in baseball coming in the Boston Red Sox. You're playing at Minute Maid, where the Astros should be a much better team than they are. It hasn't happened so far. That's why I'm looking at this series to say, can they right themselves in June, moving forward in the season, coming off that Yankees series? How do they respond at home? I think that's going to be a real indicator of where they're going here for the next several weeks.
And as we mentioned, 3 more games against the Bo Sox to see how they do respond. Then next week, Richard, we can talk about this entire stretch in its entirety when you include the Indians, the Yankees, and the Red Sox all put together. Maybe the Astros salvage a little something in this series, these 3 remaining games against Boston. Thanks so much for the time, Richard. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
My pleasure.
You're watching Sports Tonight, San Antonio's only nightly 30-minute sportscast with exclusive sports coverage you won't find anywhere else.